Welcome back to some new malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Suspicious Email. I was working for a large company in the USA with over 6,000 employees nationally, and we had an entire IT group dedicated to cybersecurity. We had to complete training every quarter online regarding different routine cybersecurity topics like phishing emails and such. We even had a dedicated email address that you were supposed to start a new email to and then attach a copy of the suspicious email, so that they could see all pertinent data you can get from the direct email. So one day I get an email from the head of the cybersecurity group, and it is an email talking about a specific phishing email that apparently a number of employees reported. I noticed this email talking about it was sent to all 6,000 employees. As I read it, I thought that they included the text of the phishing email in it. I assumed as a picture file or something, but no, it was truly copied into this email. I hovered my mouse over the links in the email and they pop up very suspicious paths to websites that I'm sure had malicious software. I couldn't believe it, and I thought maybe they were testing us to see if anyone clicked on it. I followed the procedure and started a new email to the email address dedicated for this purpose. And I attached the email from the head of cybersecurity. I sent it off and I got an automated IT job ticket creation email thanking me for reporting it. A while went by without hearing anything that day, and I thought maybe this isn't a test. So I sent an email directly to the head of cybersecurity, telling her the links appear to be active and clickable and suspicious. She replied, "Thanks, we'll take care of it." I never heard anything more about it. My job ticket also got closed without comment. The next story is called Choosing Words. I was working at Subway at the time. One of our sister stores had shut down and they were offloading various equipment to other stores. We ended up getting their bread rack. These things aren't the biggest, but we didn't have a big store and we already had one. So we have this overflowing back room with two bread racks, one partially blocking the fire exit. I was getting more and more annoyed when finally, a few days later, I asked the manager one more time, "So we absolutely have to use it?" Bob, the manager, looks at me like I ate crayons for breakfast and said, "I already told you that." Well, if I have to use it, I was never told how I had to use it. Cue malicious compliance. I waited until Bob left for the day. Then the fun began. For starters, I made a spot against the wall that would fit our bread rack. I unscrewed the glass door, then took out all the shelving units, then even the metal guide racks on the sides. I then threw in some empty bread trays and a few of the guide racks back and converted it from a bread rack to a miscellaneous storage rack. It actually looked pretty good. Bob wasn't back around to our store for another few days, but when he returned, Bob goes to the back, starts doing his weekly checklist and then stops at the bread rack turned storage cabinet. He turns around and goes, "Who did this?" My coworker and I shared a very cheeky grin. I owned up to it and said, "I did." He asks why, looking like he was ready to write me up. I politely informed Bob that I had asked to get rid of it and he had told me multiple times to use the bread rack, no matter what. He shakes his head in disappointment and goes back to his list, and we go back to our usual sandwich shenanigans. A few days later, our impromptu storage rack had inexplicably disappeared, and Bob was much more careful about how he chooses wording from then on. The third story is called Only Original Packaging. I go into the local big chain hardware store just to do the usual wander around that guys like to do, when I see that they have a great sale on a miter saw and stand combination. Since this is something I've had my eyes on for a while, I make the purchase and happily head home to set it up. I get home, haul the boxes out of the car, take everything out of the boxes, crunch up the boxes and put them in the recycling bin, and put all the packaging materials in the trash. Then I start the assembly. The saw just took a couple of steps, everything was great, so I moved to the stand. Get it all put together and then go to put the saw on the stand. And I noticed that one of the attachment clamps is broken. I get in the car and head back to the store to see if they can replace it. No, I'm told, I need to return the entire purchase and the original packaging for replacement. Wouldn't it be easier, I ask, to simply go into one of these boxes here and swap out the clamp, rather than make me go home, disassemble everything, try to recreate the packaging, and haul everything back in? Of course not. That would make too much sense. I asked exactly what their return policy is, and I'm told 30 days with receipt in original packaging. So I do what any self-respecting guy would do. I buy another sauce stand combination, right on the other side of the checkout in full view of management. I open the box, reach in, grab a functional clamp and replace it with the broken one, making sure to put it back into the original little plastic bag that it came in. And then I head over to customer service to make a return. The next story is called Less Bleach. I was a warehouse associate and delivery driver and was responsible for cleaning the warehouse restrooms 1 day a week. I would use a cleaner with bleach because that's what we were given. Then I'd mop the floors with bleach water. A lady working in the office area always complained about the bleach smell. Trying to be cautious, I diluted the cleaners I was using, but that wasn't good enough. The complaints got worse and worse. The boss was getting irritated with me. I was barely using any cleaner at that point, and I got an idea. Without telling anyone, I rinsed an empty spray bottle a few days in advance and filled it with pure water only. The mop got a fresh head and the bucket was rinsed. My cleaning day came and I began to go through my cleaning process with nothing but water. The office lady starts gagging, coughing and complaining. The boss flies through the warehouse door in a fit and says, "How many times do we have to tell you to use less bleach? This is ridiculous." I agreed with him that it was in fact ridiculous and told him that I didn't even use any bleach or even any cleaner at all that day. I never got any apologies or anything, and occasionally she'd still gripe about the smell, but she ended up leaving the company a few weeks later. Everyone else was chill at that job, and that's really the only issue I've ever had there. The last story is called Dinner Leftovers. I worked for an orthopedic surgeon who constantly ate people's lunches and would leave $10 on the fridge. He really loved leftover home-cooked meals. "I don't get lunches off, I have to work to keep paying your salary. You can buy another lunch," he would say. I hated him so much, but I got paid a lot. He was fresh out of his internship and residency, and he thought he was above everyone. We complained to the office manager. She went to the doctor and said we were all mad about it. The doctor told her to deal with it. If the doctor decided to eat one of our lunches, we could have the office manager just order us something. This was amazing. There were 2 people besides me that had family and kids, so we always brought leftovers. If he ate my food, I ordered from the most expensive steak place in town. Appetizers, a big steak, 3 sides, a salad and dessert. I'd eat the salad and the rest went home. And of course there are plenty of leftovers to take to work the next day. The rest of the staff was doing the same. Ordering full chickens, 4 to 5 different Chinese dishes, spending hundreds of dollars to replace stolen meatloaf sandwiches and day-old soups and spaghetti. The office manager went along with it. After all, he said we could order what he wanted if he took our lunch. It went on for 2 months until the dog caught on. From then on, he had the office manager order him lunch. I did miss trading off a cold pork chop and Spanish rice for prime rib and all the fixing. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.